Hey, this is Zero at ReviewZoneHD, and this video has definitely been a long time coming. It's been almost a full month since I started doing the racing videos, and in this video I'm bringing you guys my top 25 PlayStation 3 racing games countdown. This only includes games that I've covered on my channel, which leaves out a couple major titles such as Gran Turismo and the new Ridge Racer, but for the games in this video I'll post the links for the reviews in the description, and also due to time constraints, instead of explaining everything, just check the description out if you have any questions about anything. With all that said, let's go ahead and get into the countdown. This is my least favorite game that I own for the PlayStation 3, and of course it's going to scrape the bottom of this list. I love the pixel junk games, but this one pretty much just bites. It may be okay for a handheld system, but not so much for the PlayStation 3. The rubber banding AI absolutely destroyed any chance of this game being fun, which is a shame because it had the potential to be a pretty decent racer. This game is controller fling worthy. This game was a complete disaster and should be avoided at all costs. There's really not a whole lot of positive things that can be said on this one. It's rare I give such a harsh review, but this one really deserved it. Yet another PlayStation Store released dud. This game was fun for about 15 minutes, which surprisingly, if you times that by about 10, you will have completed the game and have nothing else left to do at that point. This was a pretty average racing title, but it's not worth picking up today for the simple fact that DreamWorks Superstar Kartz uses a lot of the same characters and tracks, but is a much better game. This game was incredible when it first originally released, but it just hasn't aged very well compared to the other games released around that same time period. There's just not enough content on this one to make it worth a purchase today. This game had moments in which it was actually pretty fun to play. It's basically high-speed bumper cars with a NASCAR theme, and it's possibly worth picking up if you enjoy NASCAR and kart racers. This was a pretty fantastic kart racer for the original $30 price tag. It's half the game at half the cost, but provides enough content to make it worth a purchase and worth playing. This is one of only two titles I didn't review in this list. I personally got bored with the very shallow career mode on this one, but the graphics and the handling are pretty close to the Need for Speed Shift series, and it's not that bad of a game. Some of my viewers and subscribers actually disagree that this game was better than the original review that I gave to it, but I personally just felt this game was a bit thin on the replay value, but a whole lot of fun for the first couple hours. I love this game, but it can be frustrating to play. The graphics alone are worth checking out on this one, and overall it's a pretty good arcade racer, but the wrecks come a bit too frequent on this one. If the online wasn't completely dead on this game, it would have easily moved up on this countdown list. Don't judge a book by its cover. Underneath all the silliness is a solid kart racer that I actually had a lot of fun playing. This is yet another title that got hammered on the reviews when it first released. It's not as bad as the reviews will lead you to believe, but it is littered with issues that prevent it from breaking my top 10, but I still enjoyed my time with it. This title has plenty of very creative, nice looking stages, addictive gameplay, well thought out online modes, but it's just a bit too short in its single player campaign mode and still suffers from sometimes frustrating gameplay. I really loved this game. If it had a deeper career mode and not so many online bugs, this would have easily been in the top 5, but the actual racing mechanics and its single player mode were solid and created a pretty intense racing experience on the harder difficulties. This game is a classic and in my opinion the best in the Wipeout series, even counting the handheld versions. The online's a bit dead now and the game itself's a bit difficult, but it's well worth the effort. This is going to be another one of those games that you can't really judge it unless you've actually played it. For those that have played it, you may be upset it's not in the top 5. This is a very solid kart racer that's worth checking out. While the actual kart racing is pretty average stuff, the customization options vault this one into the top 10. No other racing title gives this much content to tinker around with, and the online is still very active on this one. While the cars can't turn on a dime on this game, the gameplay itself is pretty awesome and the online is still going pretty strong. I had no problems getting into an online match with up to 19 other players online. If you feel like getting into some serious competitive destructive racing, there's no better choice than this. The single player may be worth passing on, but the online multiplayer is worth the price of admission. The handling of the cars and the customization options make this a top single player racer. Don't judge this game as a Grand Theft Auto clone. It has enough depth and content to keep you occupied for a very long time. After playing pretty much every good kart racer for the PlayStation 3, there's no doubt or question in my mind this is going to be the best out of the group. This is the closest you're going to get to Mario Kart on the PS3. I highly recommend this one if you want a kart racer. This is the only title on this list that I hold a platinum trophy on because I enjoyed playing it so much. It's better than its sequel Shift 2 and it has enough tuning options to make this a pretty good choice even today. I highly recommend this title if you want a great single player sim style racer. It's hard to deny how great of a game this one is. I really didn't have many negative things to say about this one in the review, and it's got enough quality downloadable content to please any Burnout fan. Crashing cars has never been this much fun. I didn't immediately like this title. In fact, it took a couple hours before it quickly jumped ahead of every game on this list once I got to see the full experience of what this one has to offer. The online modes are creative and balanced enough to keep things on an even playing field, and player skill really dictates the outcome on this one. Flying down a beachside highway at 200 miles per hour and slamming into another car watching it go off a cliffside is about as much fun as I've had on any racer to date. Online or offline, this one's worth checking out. I highly recommend this one as long as you have the patience to get through its very slow opening start. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed my top 25 racing titles that I own. This is Zero at ReviewZoneHD, and thanks for stopping by.